Turabo Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders with the skills they need to thrive. We present to you our special computer training exclusively designed for SS3 and JSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze database, Microsoft PowerPoint, create stunning presentations that captivate audiences, graphic design using CorelDRAW, unleash your creativity and design skills, Photoshop, enhance your image editing skills and create stunning visuals, programming using web design, build dynamic websites and web applications, database development, learn to design and manage databases, UI/UX design, create user-friendly and intuitive interfaces. At the Turabo Business School, we believe in creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Our experienced instructors will guide you every step of the way, providing you with hands-on training and mentorship. Don't miss this opportunity to gain a competitive edge. Contact us today to learn more about our program and register for the next session. Call 080-6026-9140, 070-6342-8464, or 090-1010-8844 between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Turabo Business School, creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Join us today and unlock your full potential. Turabo Business School, opposite Civil Service Commission, Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Turabo State. Empower yourself with the skills of the future. Register now.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching news at 9 p.m. on Psalm TV, the pulse of the nation. This is where every headline matters. Stay engaged. Follow us on Facebook at Psalm TV and stream live on YouTube at Psalm TV Live. This is where stories breathe. On the news tonight, Tinubu returned from diplomatic tour of St. Lucia in Brazil, targets threats and climate cooperation while Nigeria and Morocco advance their 13-nation gas pipeline, with Togo joining the project with new memorandum of understanding. Nigerian Export Promotion Council urges Adamawa farmers to adopt organic agriculture to tap into $437 billion global market. All Progressive Congress leads Lagos local government elections amidst low turnout. Former Liberty Governor alleges irregularities. International news. Macron urges EU to prepare for Trump's tariff war threats. Bloc divided over response. Business news. Nigerian stock market gains 3.46 trillion naira in best 2025 week. Banks and insurer-led rally. Entertainment news. Charlie Poppy and Hammer Boy to headline Edo Carnival 2025, blending traditional with POP culture. Sport news. International Federations of Association Football and International Federations of Professional Footballers agrees on mandatory player rest periods to address burnout from congested match calendar. I'm Bridget James, and now the news in full. Former President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, has passed away in London. According to a statement released by his family on Saturday, July 13, 2025, he died at a clinic in the United Kingdom. The announcement, signed by his former spokesperson, Garba Shehu, described the loss as significant and offered prayer for his soul to rest in Al-Jannatul Firdaus. Buhari, a retired Major General and former military head, led Nigeria from 2015 to 2023. He was widely recognized for his anti-corruption drive and effort to combat insurgency during his time in office. He is survived by his wife, children, and grandchildren. May his soul continue to rest in peace. President Bola Tinubu has returned to Abuja following a diplomatic tour of St. Lucia and Brazil, aimed at strengthening Nigeria's international partnership. According to his media advisor, Bayo Enanuga, the visit focused on trade, tourism, and climate cooperation with Caribbean leaders in St. Lucia and economic, energy, and agricultural collaboration with officials in Brazil. Though details of specific agreements were not disclosed, the trip is seen as part of Tinubu's broader strategy to attract foreign investments and advance Nigeria's development goals under the Renewed Hope agenda. The visit also reflects efforts to diversify Nigeria's global alliances and deepen ties with both regional blocs and major economies.
Welcome back. Thank you, sir.
International economic engagement officials from Nigeria, Morocco, and other stakeholders met in Rabat to review progress on the Nigerian-Morocco gas pipeline project, hosted by Morocco's National Office of Hydrocarbons and Mines. The meeting confirmed the completion of detailed engineering studies and environmental assessments for several sections of the pipeline. A new memorandum of understanding was signed with Togo's gas company, marking its formal entry into the project and completing agreements with all countries along the proposed route. The pipeline is set to span 13 coastal and 3 landlocked African countries, aimed to transport 30 billion cubic meters of gas annually and boost regional integration's energy access and economic developments. Also, Taraba State met a bold pitch for global investments at the 15th African Leadership Summit in London, as government officials showcased the state's rising economic profiles and green growth potentials at the United Kingdom's House of Commons. Some TV correspondent has the details.
Taraba State took center stage at the 15th African Leadership Summit held at the historic House of Commons, London, with a resounding call for global investment in the state's budgeting sector. Representing the Executive Governor of Taraba State, Dr. Abu Kefas, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Reorientation, Barrister Zainab Usman Jalingo, delivered a compelling keynote address at the high-level section Team Invest in Taraba State.
My name is Barrister Zainab Usman Jalingo. I'm the Commissioner of Information and Reorientation, Taraba State. I'm here to speak to you on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Taraba State, Dr. Abdul Kapas, who is unavoidably absent due to exigencies of duty. He sends his warm regards to his noble house and he sends his greetings to Dr. Ken and his team. I bring you warm greetings from the northeastern geographical region of Nigeria, a region abundant in natural wealth, cultural heritage, and untapped investment opportunities.
Barrister Zainab was accompanied to the summit by the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Taraba State, Yakubu Mekasua SAN, underscoring the administration's commitment to creating an enabling legal and regulatory environment for investors. In her address, Barrister Zainab highlights the transformation agenda of the Kefas-led administration, which within 2 years has positioned Taraba as Nigeria's emerging green economic hub, from patronizing security, education, reform, to massive investment in agriculture and infrastructure. She describes the state as a fertile ground for strategic partnership, not charity.
In a related push for economic diversification, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council has urged farmers in Adamawa State to embrace organic agriculture to boost export potentials. NEPC Executive Director Nonye Ayeni made the call during a training section for smallholders farmers in Jimeta, Yola, highlighting the global rise in demand for organic products, valued at $97 billion and projected to reach $437 billion by 2028. She emphasized the need for international certification through the participatory guarantee system to meet global standards. NEPC will support groundnut farmers with 300 kg of high-yield Sam Nuts 2022 seeds for an 8 hectares demonstration farm in Yola South, with plans to extend the initiative to other farming clusters. The Adamawa State Commissioner for Agriculture, Peter Irimiya, he pledged support for the project and encouraged a shift to organic farming to tap into international markets. Also, in an effort to enhance food security and support farmers across the state, the Gombe State government has commenced the distribution of fertilizer to all local government areas. This follows this official flag off of the sales and distribution exercise by Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya. Some TV correspondent reports.
Following the official flag off of fertilizer sales and distribution by Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Husbandry has commended the transportation of the commodity to all local government areas in the state. Speaking at the fertilizer warehouse in Gombe, the Commissioner for Agriculture and Animal Husbandry, Dr. Barnabas Malle, said the ministry has been directed to ensure the fertilizer reaches the various local government headquarters, wards, and even polling units.
As we are here today to witness the directives of His Excellency Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya on sales of fertilizer and distribution. Last time, he brought up the sales and distribution of the fertilizer, and he stated that this fertilizer is going to be transported down to the real farmers at the grassroots. So he has directed us today to make sure that the fertilizer reaches all the local government areas. That's what we are witnessing now. They are loading the fertilizer to the various local government areas so that the farmers will get the fertilizers at the ward level and also at the polling units. That is the directives of His Excellency.
Dr. Malle explained that the delay in this year's distribution was due to the late onset of the rainy season, which he described as a natural factor beyond control. He further disclosed that the fertilizer will be sold at a subsidized rate of 27,000 per bag across the state.
You know, this year, the rain has been delayed. This is a natural factor which we cannot control. But His Excellency, with his own wisdom, decided to send the fertilizer by this time because this is the right time that the farmer is going to make good use of it. As he takes the fertilizer, buys it at the rate of 27,000 per bag to his farm. He's not going to sell it. The fertilizer is 10,000 metric tons, which is equivalent to 200,000 bags. And this fertilizer is the best so far that the farmer is going to use.
A total of 200 bags are to be distributed across the 140 wards in the 11 local government areas of Gombe State. If properly distributed and utilized, the initiative is expected to significantly boost agricultural output, enhance farmers' output, increase food availability, and help reduce food price after the harvest season. From Gombe, Kamal Hamado, Sum TV News.
Still from Gombe State, the House of Representatives Committee on Review of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, has held a one-day public hearing for the Northeast Center A at the International Conference Center in Gombe, receiving presentations from various groups across Bauchi, Gombe, and Taraba State. Sound TV correspondent completes the report.
Declaring the event open, Gombe State Governor Muhammad Inuaya commended the leadership of the National Assembly for choosing Gombe to host the hearing. He emphasized that the Nigerian Constitution, as a living document, must be periodically reviewed to reflect the involvement aspiration of the people. In his remarks, the chairman of the Northeast Center A Committee, Honorable Usman Bello Kumo, member representing Akko Federal Constituency, explained that the committee's mandate is to gather input from stakeholders across the region and forward them to the National Assembly for further legislative consideration.
Excellency, sir, my job as somebody who is serving their fate and destiny to spearhead and chair this particular session, along with my colleagues, job is very simple. We are going to collect presentations across board by institutions, government, civil liberty organizations, religious bodies, traditional institutions, and even private individuals who felt that the constitution of the country supposed to be in this particular way or manner. We are equally going to receive memorandum for the creation of state and local government if need be. It is on this premise that I want to assure this particular humbled, assembled man of integrity that I, Usman Bello Kumo, God's willing, inshallah, we are going to do justice. We are going to be balanced. We are going to be fair. And we are going to report back whatever are your solutions, undiluted, unpolluted, in verbatim.
Also speaking, the committee consultant, His Excellency Muhammadu Abdullahi Abubakar San, outlined the thematic areas guiding the review process.
Compendium has been organized under thematic areas, themes. There are about 12 themes under which these bills are organized. These themes are electoral reforms, which are very important, judicial reforms, very important, the legislature itself, very important, inclusive governance, very important, security and policy, devolution of powers, strengthening of institutions, traditional institutions, fiscal reforms, particularly fiscal reforms for all the tiers of government and in particular the local governments, citizenship and indigenship, fundamental human rights, and local government reforms.
Among the key proposals presented were the creation of new states and local government. Katago State was proposed from Bauchi, Tangaliwadi State from Gombe, while Muri and Sardauna State were proposed from Taraba.
This is to present you this memo. This memo is going to be on the First Land Church, and we are going to do justice to it. Mr. Kran.
Stakeholders who spoke to some TV expressed confidence in their demands, citing the availability of economic potential, human capital, and geographical visibility to support state creation.
My name is Ambassador Hassan Jika Ardo. As it is, we have 8 local government and we are clamoring for the creation of additional 10, making 18 local government with a population of 1,296,966. And we have economic potential like the Highland Tea Kakara, the Baisa Timber, the Baisa Palm Kernel, and coffee with other things, then Ukashaka Gumti and solid minerals across the state. So we can survive and sustain ourselves if given the opportunity. If you look at it historically, we're talking about plebiscite in 1961, where the people who are entrusted under the United Nations, after the plebiscite, we now voted to come back to Nigeria. And now we are giving, all other provinces that were given state were among the first provinces that were created by late Sir Ahmadu Bello, the premier of the northern region then. And up to today, our area is the most neglected area, and we are people with unique culture and unique environment, with unique climatic conditions.
From Gombe, Kamal Hammadio, Som TV News.
Shifting focus to domestic politics, preliminary result from the ongoing Lagos State local government elections. It indicates the All Progressive Congress is leading across several polling units and local councils, despite low voter turnouts. Reports shows the APC ahead in areas such as Ikeja, Yaba, Agege, Somolu, and Bariga, with the People's Democratic Party trailing and the Labour Party in third place. At the polling unit in Ejigbo, LCDA, APC secured 51 votes for both chairmanship and councillorship position, while LP and PDP received single-digit votes. The election was largely peaceful, with security agencies commending the orderly conduct. However, former Deputy Governor Senator Kowoforowa Burko Akerele called for the cancellations of the election, alleging irregularities and the relocations of polling units without prior notice, which she claimed disenfranchised many voters.
If your worker allows you to sit. And thank you the other time for the press conference that we had. I'm sure some of them must be there. And we saw even before today, we saw your reports, and I'm sure it encouraged some people to come out. And what I saw mostly was like it enlightened some people. A lot of things they don't know about LASEC, and a lot of things they don't know. The difference they don't know between LASEC and INEC. Secondly, I will say that initially, quite a lot of polling units outside the urban areas, they were not polling units, do not pull out these materials. We had transport system, which worked, but you know, the human part of it will be there. What I can tell you that I find. I would also say that I had quite some concerns that were forwarded to my phone. Immediately, I will send them to the CP, and the CP will respond after investigating. And some of them, not all, were just concerns, as I said. I can't. We said 3 o'clock. But there were some places, like very, very far towards Badagry side. After the coalition, there was trying to be.
In a related political development, the Federal Capital Territory, Minister Nyesom Wike hosted Julius Abure, the functional chairman of the Labour Party, amidst ongoing tension within the party. The reason for the meeting was not disclosed, but the development has sparked speculations given Wike's position as a PDP member serving in an APC-led administration. Abure has faced accusations of undermining his party's interest, which he has denied. Photos of the meetings were shared by the minister's spokesperson, Larry Olayinka, further fueling discussions about political alignments. Meanwhile, a former Osun State lawmaker, Honorable Olatumbosum Oyitilayo, has cautioned leaders of the coalition operating under the African Democratic Congress against making inflammatory remarks aimed at President Bola Tinubu and the Nigerian government. In a Sunday statement, Oyitilayo criticized recent rhetoric, particularly a call by ex-Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi for pre-election protests, as dangerous and patriotic, while acknowledging coalitions building as a democratic norm. He urged political leaders to avoid inciting unrest and instead support national stability and development. Turning to legislative and judicial affairs, the Senate has stated it cannot yet act on the court's order to recall Senator Natasha Akpoti-Odohan from the suspension, pending receipt and a review of the certified true copy of the judgment. Senate spokesperson Yemi Adaromodu explained that while the Senate respects the court's decision, it must first examine the ruling's details before taking further steps. Akpoti-Odohan was suspended on March 6 over misconduct related to seating arrangements, following recommendations by the Senate's Ethics Committee. A federal high court ordered her reinstatement last week, but also fined her for contempt. Adaromodu emphasized the Senate's authority to maintain internal rules and disciplines. In a separate legal matters, 9 former Kano Palace officials have sued Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II and 12 others over alleged illegal evictions and demolitions of their ancestral homes within the palace ground. Filed at the Bichi divisions of the Kano High Court, the case seeks to stop further evictions, while the plaintiffs claim were politically motivated due to their loyalty to the deposed Emir Aminu Ado Bayero. The court has ordered all parties to maintain the status quo pending a full hearing. One plaintiff, Usman Dako, he stated his family was forcefully evicted, their homes destroyed, and his wife and children harassed. Despite this, he reaffirmed his loyalty to Bayero. Neither Emir Sanusi II, currently in South Africa, nor the Kano Emirate Council has commended. The case is expected to be heard in the coming weeks. On the security front, the Kaduna State Police Command has arrested 10 suspected armed robbers uncovered an illegal gun fabrication workshop, and recovered 3 stolen vehicles and several weapons in recent operations targeting criminal hotspots. Police spokesman DSP Mansur Hassan said the arrests were made in Kawo Makarfi and Ongwan Sanusi in one case. A motorcyclist was stabbed in an attempted theft, leading to the arrest of the attackers. Other suspects were caught trying to rob a tricycle operator and confessed to being part of a syndicate operating across Kaduna and Zamfara. Recovered items include 3 Golf, 2 cars, locally made firearms, ammunition, and metal work tools. A kidnapping-related arrest linked 3 men to the abductions of a woman in Makarfi, and the raid uncovered a gun-making facility in Giroi village, where 4 suspects were detained. All suspects remain in custody and will face prosecution. The Commissioner of Police commended officers and urged continued public cooperation. Similarly, the Nigerian Customs Service has intercepted 25 containers of fake and unregistered pharmaceutical imported from India with a duty-paid value of 9.2 billion naira. The seized items handed over to NAFDAC at the Apapa command includes counterfeit drugs, codeine-based syrups, expired food products, and consumer goods, all posing serious risks to public health. Customs Controller General Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, he described the seizure as part of a coordinated crackdown on criminal network exploiting regulatory loopholes. The operation follows a 2024 Memorandum of Understanding between Customs and NAFDAC, enabling joint enforcement efforts. NAFDAC Director General Majisola Adeyeye reaffirms the agency's commitment to removing substandard products and called on citizens to report illegal activities. In another anti-crime effort, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency recovered 7,022,875 pills of unpoid across Taraba, Kano, Kogi, Gombe, Borno, and Kaduna State. The seizures included large quantities of tramadol, pentazocine, Cefnol, and shunk. The arrests were made during operations including the interceptions of over 500,000 pills hidden in a petrol tanker in Taraba. The NDLEA chairman, Buba Marwa, commended personnel for their effort to curb drug trafficking nationwide. Transitioning to social initiative, the Search for Common Ground Nigeria is using creative media, including film screenings, to address religious discriminations and promote freedom of religious or belief. Though its PPFORM project, supported by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the group engaged students in Yola, Adamawa State, with a screening of Bridging the Abyss, a film aimed at educating youth on their rights. Project officials said the initiative also supports victims, train lawyers, and collaborate with agencies like the National Human Rights Commission and the police. A toll-free hotline has helped increase violations, reporting, and prevent death. Viewers praised the film's message of unity, especially among the young people, as awareness of FORB grows nationwide. Still from Yola, Federal Government Girls College Yola came alive as members of its Alumni Association returned, not just to reconnect, but to empower. Over 200 senior students receive hand-on training in entrepreneurship, leadership, and menstrual hygiene, in a landmark outreach that blended skills acquisition with mentorship and care. Some TV correspondent has the details.
At the Federal Government Girls College Yola, excitement filled the air as the alumni return, not just to reconnect, but to make a lasting impact. Over 200 students, mostly SS2 and SS3, took part in a special skill acquisition and leadership training organized by the FGGC Yola Alumni Association. From liquid soap and Axial disinfectants to shoemaking, the training was designed to equip the students with practical skills as they prepare to leave the school and face the real world.
This has impacted a lot to me. I've learned a lot, and I know that me teaching people this thing will also be something. It will also mean something. So I've gotten really impacted.
It didn't stop at business skills. The alumni also distributed organic sanitary pad and held a session on menstrual hygiene, teaching the girls how to use the products properly and safely.
Before this program, I was having the mindset of doing a business, but I don't know what business to start. But after this program, I have faith that I'm very grateful to them, or because they have impacted a lot of lives, and I know we're not going to go back empty. We're going to go back home impact. We're going to go back home, change, transform. We're going to help our parents to make economic situation of the country to be stable. Thank you.
Speaking to us, the global president of the Alumni Association, Jummai Wange Kwabi, expressed her joy at giving back to the school that shaped her.
Well, I would say I'm overjoyed by the success of the program. It's really a laudable program, and we are glad that we are impacting the lives of our younger ones, our children. And this is our alma mater. This is where that has brought us up. They taught us what or who made us who we are today. So I'm really very glad that I could impact positively on the lives of these children. And I'm glad that they're very happy, and I'm happy that all the students, the teachers, really appreciated what we have done today.
The principal, teachers, and students all applauded the efforts, describing the program as timely and transformational.
So from the beginning, I've been looking forward to this training, and also training our girls, those who are going out, the outgoing students, which is the SS3, so that they can be well equipped for the society they are going into.
I see this as a way forward for Nigeria, because most people are after just the normal job, finish school, get job. Each time you ask them, what do you want to become? Want to be a pilot, a doctor, a nurse, the normal kind of things. And we really find people that are interested in entrepreneurship. So I see this as a very good step in the right direction.
The old girls of the school rejoiced happily with the students. It was more than a visit. It was a message of empowerment from women who once sat in this same classroom to those now dreaming of the future. I am Ojoma Yusuf, reporting for Some TV News, Yola.
In a similar vein, the Academic Staff Union of Universities of Ibadan chapter has awarded scholarship totaling 1.1 million to 11 indigent students for the 2024-2025 academic section. The recipients were selected through a competitive screening process involving over 100 applicants. 2 students received 200,000 naira each from the National ATSU body, 5 received 100,000 naira each from the UI branch, and 4 were awarded with 50,000 naira each through a donation by Professor Tajuddin Alkanje. ATSU UI Chairman Dr. Adefemi Afalabi, he said the initiative reflects the union's commitment to supporting bright students despite challenges facing public universities. The scholarship presentation took place at the Union Secretariat in Ajibode, Ibadan. Additionally, Transit Gas Nigeria Limited, a subsidiary of Oxalo, has commissioned a new primary health care facility for the Imodi Ijaz community in Idowu local government area of Ogun State. The fully equipped center aims to improve healthcare access, especially for women, children, and the elderly. At the commissioning, Ogun State Health Commissioner Dr. Tommy Koka, he praised the project as a model public-private partnership supporting universal health coverage. The event also featured free medical checks and mosquito net distributions, aligning with Axelos Brothers CRS focused on health, education, and community development. Addressing infrastructure challenges, landslides triggered by heavy rainfall has struck the Owerri Oka area of Oka Akoko in Ondo State, Akoko's southwest local government area, damaging farmlands and threatening key roadways, including roads to Abuja. The incident has caused panic among residents and motorists, with fears of further collapse. Local leaders and affected residents have appealed to Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and emergency agencies for urgent intervention. The local government chairman, Ayo Ajana, advised residents in high-risk zones to relocate temporarily and confirmed that state and federal emergency agencies have been notified. Officials suspect on the ground erosions from heavy rains may have compromised the bridge structure. A team from the Ministry of Works has assessed the site, and the coordinated efforts are on the way. Similarly, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has blamed internal leadership conflicts for the Niger Delta Development Commission. Persistent failure revealing that over 17,500 projects have been abandoned. Speaking at the Commission's 25th anniversary in Port Harcourt, he cited frequent leadership changes and internal sabotage as major obstacles. Akpabio, a former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, noted that the NDC operated from a rental facility for over 2 decades, paying $300 million annually without connection to the national grid, highlighting structural issues crippling the agency's performance. On the religions fronts, the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion has issued new guidelines restricting political speeches in the churches. Following public backlash over recent remark by FCT Minister Nyesom Wike during a service at St. James Anglican Church at Sokoro, the directive signed by the Primate's Most Reverend Henry Nduka and released after a Episcopal meeting in Enugu emphasized that pulpit must remain political and clergy must avoid aligning with political figures. The memo instructs parishes to brief guest speakers in advance and prohibit political rhetoric or excessive praise of officials. It also advised against using the lectern reserved for scripture for non-spiritual addresses, while reaffirming openness to all. The church stressed its duty to preserve its integrity and engage with authorities strictly on societal and members-related matters. The directive takes immediate effect across all Anglican dioceses. In a cultural highlight, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Nobel laureate Professor Wale Soyinka on his 91st birthday, praising his enduring contributions to literature, human rights, education, and national development. In a statement by presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu described Soyinka as an inspiring figure whose creative legacy and patriotism continues to impact generations. He also highlighted their personal association and commended Soyinka's unwavering service to Nigerians, wishing him continued good health and longevity. The Federal Inland Revenue Service and WestTU have strengthened their partnership to improve taxpayers' service and accelerate digital reforms in Nigeria's tax system. During the 12th regional meeting and field visit at the AfriTac West II Steering Committee, hosted at the FIRS headquarters in Abuja, FIRS highlighted achievements from the collaborations, including the integrations of behavioral insights to reposition taxation as civic duty. A VAT revenue gap analysis to enhance compliance and specialized audit training for high-risk sector. Progress was also reported in digital project management and aligning tax strategies with national revenue goals, reinforcing FIR's commitment to a modern citizens-focused tax authority. In a parallel, the Federal Road Safety Corps in Anambra has launched an initiative to standardize certified driving schools and improve the transparency of the driver's license process. According to FRSC spokesperson Margaret Onabe, banners listing FRSC-approved schools will be displayed on licensing centers statewide in collaboration with the Driving School Proprietors Association. The initiative aims to educate the public, discourage patronage of unregistered schools, cope fake certificates, and promote professionalism. Sector Commander Joyce Alexander said the effort supports national road safety goals and will help reduce traffic crashes in the state. Pastor Joel Yola, a renewed gospel musician and minister, has launched his book titled Finding Your Path in Music Ministration. The event tagged In His Presence 2025, held at the Christ Glorious Army Headquarters, Mayogwe, Jalingo, was well attended by guests, the ministers, and well-wishers. The event also doubled as the birthday celebrations of the minister, who was surprised by his adorable wife, to the admirations of everyone present.
Reverend Yashi Riman Dia, please a round of applause for him, and our mommy, please a round of applause. A round of applause. Receive our songs, you receive our thanks.
Let's raise our voices and give God all the glory.
Finding a path in music ministry. This is a conceptualized masterpiece in written form. It has a volume of 91 pages, comprising of a foreword, an introduction, table of contents, and 9 chapters of constructive, systematic learning process that can improve the mindset of the reader.
It's not easy. I don't know what I was coming for this morning, but I discovered that there is a book. I'm so happy that God gave you the grace to put up this book together.
Happy birthday, Pastor Joel Yola. Congratulations. Wifey, thank you for this opportunity.
Let's now step aside for a brief commercial break, after which there's still plenty more to come, right here on Psalm TV. Please don't go away. Stay tuned.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds, safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride your way.
Welcome back. We're glad you're still here with us. Coming up next are the international business, sports, and entertainment news. On the international news, French President Emmanuel Macron has urged the EU to prepare for a potential trade war in response to former U.S. President Donald Trump's threat of imposing 30% tariff on nearly all European imports. Macron calls on the European Commission to accelerate preparedness for countermeasures, including using anti-coercion tools, if no agreement is reached by 1st August. While Macron struck a firm tone, other EU leaders advocated for calm. German Economy Minister Katrina Reiche called for a pragmatic resolution, and Italy Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni expressed optimism about reaching a fair deal. Leaders from the Netherlands and Ireland echoed calls for unity and restraint. The European Commission extended a pause of 21 billion euros in retaliatory tariffs, aligning with the U.S. deadline. Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, he says the EU remains prepared for countermeasures while also hailing a newly reached free trade agreement with Indonesia. After 9 years of negotiations behind the scenes, EU officials are concerned that the tariff threat is part of a broader pressure tactics by Trump, who has previously made exaggerated claims about EU trade barriers. German industry group and European lawmakers warned that as accepting on a literal tariff could set a dangerous precedent. The automotive and steel sectors are already impacted by existing U.S. tariff with further increase, threatening to escalate economic pains. Talks between EU ambassador and trade minister are set to continue in Brussels ahead of a critical summit.
Tariffs on their exports to the US from August. The president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, posted on social media saying a 30% tariff on EU exports would hurt businesses, consumers and patients on both sides of the Atlantic. She added the European Union will continue working towards an agreement by August the 1st. Europe, along with Mexico, are Mr. Trump's latest targets. In 1 week, he's announced higher duties on 25 countries he says are exploiting the United States. He says these will encourage US consumers to buy more American-made goods. France's President Emmanuel Macron says he's in very strong disapproval of President Trump's announcement. If no agreement's reached, the French leader suggested the EU plans speeding up the preparation of credible countermeasures. Italy's Prime Minister, meanwhile, Giorgia Meloni, said in a statement it would make no sense to trigger a trade war between the two sides of the Atlantic, whilst the Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof posted on social media saying the EU must remain united and resolute in its aim to reach a mutually beneficial deal with the US. Wendy Cutler is Vice President of the Asia Society Policy Institute. She says Mr. Trump's 30% tariff on the EU took her by surprise.
My understanding is negotiations with the EU are progressing well and, frankly, progressing better than our negotiations with many other partners. So I have to believe this is some kind of either a display of Trump's frustration that somehow the deal hasn't been struck yet, or an attempt to gain some negotiating leverage, which I'm not sure it's going to accomplish. I think, if anything, it could be counterproductive.
Well, Gordon Sondland is America's former ambassador to the European Union. He told the BBC he was 100% sure the tariffs would go through.
They're going to even increase it beyond the 30% until Europe finally opens its markets wide to U.S. products and services. This is something multiple U.S. presidents have tried to do through polite talk. The Europeans have been adamant that they will not budge on agriculture, they won't budge on cars, they won't budge on GDPR, and now it's going to be a game of chicken because Donald Trump is equally adamant, I should say, that he wants the U.S. to have complete access to the European market. If Europeans don't want to buy our products, that's fine. That's up to the consumers. But the access is important to the United States.
Well, meanwhile, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum.
In business news, the Nigerian stock market posted its strongest weekly performance of 2025, gaining 3.46 trillion naira on investor confidence surge. The NGX All Shares Index rose by 4.26% to 126,149.59 points. The market capitalization closed at 79.803 trillion naira. Gains were driven by banking, insurance, and consumer goods stock, with the NGX Insurance and Banking Index up to 13.83% and 12.49% respectively. Market breadth was positive, with 90 stock appreciating, led by FTN Cocoa Processors, Red Star Express, and Omatech Ventures. Decliners included Legend Internet and Owando. A total of 5.39 billion shares worth 107.81 billion were traded in 134,390 deals. Analysts anticipate a caution stone this week, with the profits taken likely as the market near overbought territory. Key focus areas include Q2 earnings, inflation data, and the upcoming CBN Monetary Policy Committee meeting. On entertainment news, Nigerian filmmaker Kunle Afolayan has unveiled a 115-seat cinema named the Kunle Afolayan Cinema. He announced the launch on Instagram, showcasing the facility and expressing gratitude to businessman Sheyi Vodi for attending the event. The project celebrates Afolayan's contribution to the Nigerian film industry. Popular Nigerian artists Shali Poppy, Hammer Boy, and others will headline the Edo Carnival 2025, a week-long cultural celebration in Benin City. Theme: Illuminating Heritage, Celebrating Today. The festival, scheduled to begin December 14th, features a grand shine concert, fireworks, celebrity appearance, and the crowning of Miss Shine First. Pre-events include the Dima Live talent quests across Edo senatorial zones, with finalists performing at the concert. Other highlights include masquerade parades, traditional wrestling, food festival, a boat regatta, and an art exhibition on Igon Street, organized by Peak Rendezvous Global Limited and the Edo State Government. The event aimed to blend Edo's rich traditional with its modern identity. On sport news, FIFA has agreed in principles to introduce mandatory rest period for players, following pressure from the Global Players Union. FIFPro, after talk in New York ahead of the Club World Cup finals, both sides reached consensus on requiring at least 72 hours between matches during the season and minimum 21 days rest period at season's end. The agreement follows growing concerns over players' burnout amidst FIFA's expanded calendar, including the 32-team Club World Cup. FIFPro, supported by the Professional Footballers Association, has accused FIFA of overloading players and filed a lawsuit in the EU last year. FIFPro has also called for additional protections, including 4-week post-season breaks, mid-season rest, and limits on youth player workloads. FIFA emphasized the importance of player health, acknowledging the role of climate conditions, long-distance travel, and weekly race days in match planning. However, it reiterated its commitment to expanding global competitions and offering more playing opportunities. FIFA awaits developments in its legal challenge, beyond by a previous EU court ruling that warned against monopolistic controlling football governance.